name's Zoe. I've been a mentor since, well, I started in March, beginning of March.
Okay.
So I don't know how many months that is.
I suppose 7 months in,
Yeah.
I suppose. Okay, so you've had a little while to get used to it and know what it's all about. Sort of.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want to just tell us a bit about the child that you mentor, and just their background and what you know, or what you knew about them before you were matched?
Yeah. Well, you get some information, and I knew that he is 10 years old. He lives with his mum. He was referred because he was having quite a lot of behavioural problems at school. I knew some stuff about like what he was interested in, like he's really good at sports and he's good at maths and like creative things as well. So sort of knew a bit about what he was like. I guess kind of focused on his experiences at school and his behavioural problems because he'd been excluded from primary school 7 times at that point.
7 times?
Yeah.
Okay.
And once permanently, so he'd actually changed primary schools because he was having a lot of problems with like being quite aggressive with other children, and I think quite bullying with other children, and also being physically aggressive with adults as well. So yeah, I mean, I sort of went into it with that kind of information.
Yeah, okay. So what was it like then when you first met the child and their family? So you're being introduced to the child for the first time. Just take us through how that went.
It was the most frightening thing I've ever done in my life. I was so nervous, more nervous than for like a job interview or for, you know, anything really. I was sitting in the car with my supervisor Rachel, and the unknown is really, really frightening. But then the moment that I got inside the house and I met him and his mum, it suddenly all just became a lot easier, and just spent some time with him, and he was really lovely. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, I think, because I just built it up to be something really frightening.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, it was fine.
What were your first impressions of the child and the family as well?
Of him, it was that he was really helpful. I remember like he was really like polite and helpful, and I was expecting some kind of unruly young child, but he wasn't. He was really sweet and like attentive, and we had a little worksheet to do, and he was really into kind of doing that, and yeah, he was really keen to like show me that we like shared things, which was really nice. I guess I was quite not exactly surprised, but when I went to the house, I guess I felt a little bit uncomfortable because some of the sort of situation in the family house was a bit different than I'm used to. So you try and be non-judgmental, but you still kind of have to take on certain things that you're not expecting, I guess. So.
What sort of things did you see that you weren't expecting?
I can't remember if it was the very first time, but like just for instance, like it's a really simple thing, but like smoking, like just that his mum was smoking. I don't know why, that just was a real sort of shock to me. Just because I guess I just haven't seen parents smoking around children recently in my life. So, and just the sort of the condition of the house wasn't particularly great, and there wasn't a huge amount of furniture, or it's not like a really bad house, but you know, it's quite not dirty, but like just old, like worn down kind of thing. And he lives on an estate, which is not the nicest estate. So.
And so tell us about the kind of activities that you did in the first 3 months. What sort of things did you do in the mentoring sessions?
At the beginning, so we're kind of focusing on doing things which were fun and getting to know him. So we stayed really local to where he lives and went to the park a lot, played football, and went on like kind of like all the playgrounds and stuff. And he showed me around different parks in his area. We went swimming, we went to the Museum of Childhood, which is really close to his house, and like a few things kind of in the local area, and he showed me like Hackney Museum, and so we kind of did that, and we tried to keep the sessions really short at first. Yeah, and those kind of things. Mostly it was kind of physical activities and stuff like that.
So quite active things like playing football, you mentioned.
Yeah, because he's has another problem with concentration and like being able to sit and focus. So at first we were trying to just like burn off some energy and sort of and bond that way as well, and like try and do sporty things. I was trying to get him to teach me stuff, and so doing that, and then sort of slowly building in a bit more kind of structured, concentrated activities later on.
And was that new for you, doing active sports like football?
Doing football was new for me. He thinks that I'm hilariously bad at it, although I am improving. But I had done kind of quite a lot of active stuff. So like I'd done a lot of performance stuff. So when it was in the summer, we used to kind of go to the park and like he'd show me his dance moves, and that was quite fun. So yeah.
Okay. And what would you say have been your biggest challenges so far?
There's been a few challenges.
Yeah.
There was quite a big challenge in the middle of the summer, which was when we should have had our review meeting, which is normally at the end of 3 months. Basically, they didn't turn up to the session, and Rachel and I were just sitting here waiting for them to come, and then they didn't answer their phones, and basically I didn't see him again for 5 weeks, and I didn't know anything about what had happened. Like, his mum wasn't answering her phone. Eventually, like, we managed to sort of track him down through his school. And so that was kind of, it was really disrupting for me and for him, obviously, as well. And just, because I didn't know what was happening, I didn't know whether we were going to carry on, or, you know, even if he was all right for the first couple of weeks, I didn't even know what you know, if something had happened.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was quite hard to kind of get any consistency back, and we're still struggling with that, because his family life's a little bit chaotic. So because of his mum's situation, and she seems to not be very consistent with sessions. So quite often they get cancelled at the last minute, or I've been to the house and he hasn't been there, and things like that.
Yeah. And how's that felt for you? That sort of inconsistency and disruption? It's quite
frustrating. And after a long while of it happening, it was quite demotivating as well. You have to sort of remember, like, oh, it's okay. You know, when we have a session, it's really good. And yeah, it's been really a bit difficult, actually. But it's sort of picked up again now, so I'm just kind of glad for that.
What other types of challenges have you faced?
In his behaviour, he struggles when things don't go his way, and he's kind of done things which have been quite put himself in danger, which is quite frightening, obviously, for me. Like, he's sort of run off, and he's like jumped over like really high walls, and yeah, just kind of like dealing with that kind of behaviour has been really challenging, and just trying to give him really firm boundaries, which I've been working on recently.
What sort of things have you been working on?
Well, with just trying to give him, basically one of our goals is to do timeout kind of goal. So when he feels that he's getting upset, he asks to take time out, and then I give him that, and then when he's ready, we try and sit quietly and talk through what happened or how he's feeling. So just trying to like calm it down and give him space to kind of experience whatever he's going through, but at the same time, like, putting in consequences, so that, yeah, we're just trying to like work on his behaviour. Especially, like, he has a problem with going home. He doesn't like going home. So he sort of, yeah, acts up a little bit when we're trying to walk back.
Yeah. And what have been the successes of the mentoring so far?
At the moment, it's all going really, really well. And he's doing really well with his behaviour, so much better. The report back from the school for this half term has been brilliant. Like, the school are really, really happy with him, which is just great news, and because he's in his final year of primary, so it's kind of really important that he doesn't get excluded again, and he gets to go to a good secondary school and stuff. So that's been really good. He's just, yeah, I mean, the other day, like, we had a bit of a problem with behaviour, and then after we talked about it, he said sorry, and that was just really lovely to hear. And he seems to be enjoying himself and trying out new activities, and he seems a bit more confident in himself, which is good.
So what other changes have you noticed? You say he's more confident and clearly behaving better in school?
Definitely, his behaviour is improving loads. We're still working on his like ability to focus, but that's getting better. We're trying to do a little bit of research every few sessions, like we'll research the next big thing we're going to do. Yeah, he just seems more enthusiastic and a lot calmer, and he's noticed that he's calmer, which I think is great. At the review, he said that he felt that he was a calmer, like, young man, so that was really great. So yeah, just it's kind of going really well at the moment. It's quite positive.
And what would you say you have gained from being a mentor?
It helps with your patience and just being more open-minded and tolerant and confident in myself as well, and like confident in my decision making, and And like with Rachel and Chance in sort of in general, and the training that you get, it's just really helped to kind of like build up my skills of how to deal with situations and how to see the positive in things always. Yeah, it's very good for like being optimistic and positive. And
what advice would you give to people who are thinking about becoming mentors?
Well, I think it's a brilliant thing to do. I'm really, really pleased that I did it, and I think I'm going to really miss it when it finishes. But I think you have to be really prepared that it's going to be quite a big commitment and take quite a lot of time out of your week, even though you think, oh, it's quite a short session. You have to prepare, and like preparation's been really important with my child. So yeah, I think that's really important. And just be really open-minded and sort of, and if you really want to do it, then just go for it.
Okay, great. Okay, well, thank you for talking to us.
Okay.
Say goodbye to the lovely training.
Yeah, good luck.